You wake up before the sun even rises, and right away, the weight is there. Your chest feels heavy before your feet even touch the floor. There are past due bills waiting on the kitchen counter. A doctor's report you haven't opened yet is resting right next to them. The future feels entirely uncertain. You reach for your phone, hoping for a lifeline, but someone you love still hasn't answered your message. In that sudden rush of anxiety, instinct takes over. You close your eyes, take a breath, and whisper, "God." But imagine for a moment that no one is there. No cosmic awareness, no father who actually knows your name, listening to your fear or carrying what you cannot. In that reality, you just have to keep walking. Every single disappointment becomes yours alone to absorb. Every lingering anxiety about tomorrow belongs strictly to you. There is no higher power to offload the pressure onto. You might scream at the sky, asking why certain painful things had to happen. But every unanswered question simply ends with silence. There is no promise that the pain actually has a purpose. You try to be resilient. You brace yourself and say, "I can handle this." But eventually, the math catches up with you. Some burdens are simply too heavy for human shoulders to bear alone. Consider what happens when the weight comes from within. You make a mistake, one that hurts someone else, and guilt begins to follow you like a shadow. Without a supreme source of grace, there is no ultimate forgiveness to run to. You are permanently defined by your worst moments, left to carry that shame indefinitely. Then there is the weight of the outside world. You watch the news, or you see a clear injustice went out in your own community, and the wrongdoer simply walks away unharmed. In a purely material universe, that is the end of the story. There is no promise that the scales will eventually balance, or that wrongs will one day be made right by a perfect judge. A world built only on matter and chance strips away both personal redemption and ultimate justice. Every failure is final, and every unfairness is permanent. And then you reach the absolute limit of human endurance, losing someone you love. If biology is all there is, goodbye is an absolute biological end. It is not a temporary separation. It is permanent erasure. Under those conditions, hope becomes nothing more than naive wishful thinking. Love is just a temporary chemical accident in the brain, destined to fade into nothing. Life itself reduces down to a frantic race against time, where everyone, regardless of how they run, crosses the exact same finish line into oblivion. Now imagine carrying that reality every single day. No one to pray to, no one to trust, just you, attempting to balance the crushing weight of the entire world on your own shoulders. If we were truly alone, that instinctive cry for help we feel in the dark would be a biological glitch, a call to a void that doesn't exist. But we feel that pull because our hearts recognize a reality that our eyes cannot see. There is a God. There is a creator who pays attention, a father who hears the desperate prayers we whisper, and even the ones we never manage to say out loud. We aren't left to absorb the impact of our failures alone. We have a savior who stepped into history and carried the exact burdens that we were entirely incapable of lifting ourselves. And we have a shepherd who walks beside us. When we face dark, impassable valleys, we don't have to navigate them in isolation. The baseline of reality is not a solitary struggle against an indifferent universe. It is permanent, active companionship. Now, this doesn't mean life suddenly becomes easy. The pain persists. We still cry. We still face long periods of waiting. And we still suffer. The medical reports still come back with bad news. The grief of losing a loved one still aches. But those exact hardships are now experienced alongside a God who shares the weight. Perhaps the greatest gift God ever gave humanity isn't a life completely devoid of problems. It is his constant presence in the absolute center of them. Suffering is part of our story, but we weren't meant to hold it alone. The weight only becomes crushing when there is no one there to help you carry it.